How have you been? I still haven't got over our first talk about the Nathan and the Waterloo and big money bakers.
Good. Hey, did you know I'm going to start exposing the truth about all the lies the media and government have been hiding from the people for the last 200 years?
Really, why would you do that? How do you know the truth?
I must stop being a coward and help the people. I'm well educated and enlightened, and Immanuel Kant says it's my moral duty. I have studied this type of information for years and I follow the money. See, I traded on the Wall Street and understand the economy really well. That's how I know to follow the money.
So what exactly are you going to do? Who is Immanuel Kant, and why is he important?
I'm going to have several conversations with you at different times about different, but similar subjects that tie everything together. See, we are living in a watershed moment, and must explain this information to the American. By publishing these short essays of understanding, we will educate the America to know what has happened to the American. Let's just say this about Kant. Kant is most likely considered the greatest philosopher of all time, and is critical to our explanation of the America to the American. By using Kant, we will always be morally correct.
I love this. I think personally that the American has been beaten down into a world of strictly just entertainment, and through this entertainment is just watching. And now the whole entire of the America is watching. And I have been watching the old America evaporate, so yes, this is a good idea and morally correct for the America. Now we are just a bunch of watchers. How do you think they have been beaten down?
Hell. You came up with the beaten down. So why don't you start out with why? Because you were onto something that I was headed to, and Kant always says it best. So I say, how was the America when you grew up? To me it is just a whisper of the America that once was badass cowboy, John Wayne type awesomeness, where the America was still romantic, and an individual fought hard, loved hard, worked hard. I mean blood, sweat, and tears. The real beauty of life. I mean, look at the perception of then versus now, and perception is 9/10 reality. It's demonstrated in the older movies. Now it's a protectiveness society, where everyone is dependent on the government. It's streamed through mainstream media, and driven down the throats of the American. But this is what they want, you see. The guardian to prevail, because you the individual are a dumb domesticated sheep, and sheep and cows are watchers.
Yeah, watcher. That's why they give you the entertainment. The main thing I mean by the beaten down is the continually loss of freedom, especially small business. I mean, corporations make it so hard to compete for the little guy. The federal government won't split up these large corporations that hog up their entire sector of business. This is straight monopoly.
Yeah, it is. I know all about this. I trade the Wall Street stuff as a day trader. We don't really have time for this today, but I can explain all kinds of stuff about that, and how far this corporate with government dealings have gone, and to only guarantee corporate profits.
Yeah, but back to the beginning, before I went into some stupid economical diatribe about the American corporatism. I mean, the big business and big government have beaten the average of the America up, made them in debt, and are forcing them to be limited. So there isn't any human spirit in the average anymore, just entertainment for them to watch. They don't even know their rights. I mean, we all as human, all have certain rights, as well as our natural rights, and all our rights are being stripped away.
Yes, I understand. You came to the right place. That's why we are here, to discuss this moral hazard, and help the American regain this land, to be as it was. This is the imperative. We must stop this big government cronyism. Now is the time. See, we have the internet, and the ability to communicate faster than any other time in modern history.
Okay. I will help Vo Xiao. And we will help teach everyone what our educators won't, because the government doesn't want the American to know. Remember, but hey, in my humble opinion, the government which governs least governs best.
Yeah, so get the fuck out the way.
Only through that will free market capitalism work and the economy turn around.
But I can tell you an even better way to resolve our country's debt and emancipate our civilians from their own debt. That will have to be in the future. I have to go now, almost time for a commercial. I mean to launch our latest talking point, Zionism.
Why, that blows, we were just getting started. So when are we going to enlighten the American, and publish our work? I want to know about Zionism. I can't wait till after the commercial.
Soon, my friend, soon.
Okay, what are we going to discuss first that the American needs to know?
We are running out of time right now, but here are the subjects I think we must thoroughly go through and explain in some basic detail.
I have some too.
Okay, cool. But here are the main ones. I'm thinking maybe one a week on our channel. GE and Obama. IG, and their bake-off with the Goldman and the Jamie Dimon, that are currently JP Morgan.
Yeah. Is there more?
Well, we need to explain alternative energy, and the Pickens Plan, solutions for our economy. And the banking debt as well as our national debt, S&P, and the Moody's, the lies and how they are frauds, the Goldmans. BS, with the Volcker rule.
Yeah, I really hate the Goldmans and especially hate the Bernanke.
I must also explain the American experiment and discuss TJ, the Hamilton, the Washington, the Franklin, the John Marshall, but most of all the Andy.
Oh yeah. I remember the Andy. He really pissed off the Nathan. All these guys were our forefathers.
Yeah, we will discuss the Nathan and all that other stuff too. That's why we made this show. I must say that exposing 5 arrows or RC if you will be really fun. So let's do it like this. We will go through the House of Rothschild, tie them to Zionism, and every war since the American Revolution. Then we will expose and brief the American on their agents of today and their agents of the past. People you have heard like David Rockefeller, CFR, Trilat, Evelyn Robert, Adrian D. Rothschild, various agents like Rupert Murdoch, George Soros, Henry Alfred Kissinger. These are present ones. There are many from the past too. J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, are just some that we will discuss. We will explain the money and how the money moves throughout these large families.
Okay, but what else?
I will explain how preventive health is a joke and only raise the healthcare costs in this country. As responsible humans, you must think for yourself so that things like this won't happen.
So that's why this problem continues to proliferate. But how can you tell us we aren't being responsible? You know Kant says think for yourself too. Is that where you came up with that idea?
Yes, because I will use Immanuel Kant and his writing to prove this, and everyone who is intelligent knows how morally correct Kant is, as long as they aren't emotionally bound through fear. Plus I must explain that the boomers are all jet and sick, and making the problem proliferate more and more. They are the problem.
Why are they the problem?
Because the boomers are protectionist and are so scared of life they can't even live. With that being said, they have created this problem and are the reason why the America is such a frothy place. However, we will discuss the boomers and their personal destruction of freedom through fear and their willingness to protect throughout our show.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Finally, we will expose the T.S. and the Chertoff deal, and why this is a complete condemnation of the American.
Not all boomers are bad.
No, but the majority is, and it's mostly just their way of thinking that is. It's protecting first and living second. But they will come around, because they did live the other way before the great stock market rally of the 90s.
So we need to show them the golden age of America, when everyone was free, and they made shit happen.
Yeah, we need to back up our peers, the Americans that believe in what's right.
Yeah, like Judge Andrew Napolitano and Ron Paul, people who believe in the Constitution and protecting her.
Yes. A couple more. We must embrace Nick Gillespie and the constitutionalist Alex Jones. There are many more like David Icke, a truther. Aaron Russo, someone who stood up to Rothschild and is now dead. But we really need to give support to Trends and Gerald Salantia. We must give props to Boone Pickens, but the main guy that I must explain, and really made me realize I must help explain, is Bill Still and his movie The Secret of Oz.
Well, this sounds like a plan. See ya, till next time.
Late.